Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to the Rant Rapids. This time we're actually back in the Rapids because it is the final day of the month, and we're gonna be late on another rant. Speaking of being late on rants, this one was a long time coming. An entire month overdue. Long time coming, in the sense that it was originally a different rant. Rufus asked me initially to watch a movie. I think it's called The Horrors of Malformed Men. I momentarily forgot its title. And the worst part is, it's probably a great masterpiece of a film, and then I just didn't watch it. And I spent like an entire month not watching it. And it got to the point that Rufus was like, you know what? I've got a different rant idea. Because I want advice on my videos. Rufus has been complaining to me in VCs. I'm not being hard enough on him. I'm not insulting his videos enough. So you know what? We're going to go in with our negative mindset. We're going to try our best to pick apart every little second of this video. The problem is that it's really good. Rufus just keeps making good videos. Listen, if you want me to tear your videos apart, make bad videos. I don't know what to tell you. But you know what? I do have a few criticisms of the video that I can give ya. So, we'll get to that, but I want to set the scene, right? So this video is called What Dating Apps Taught Me About Anime. Link is going to be in the description. If I remember, I should hopefully remember. And the gist of it is Rufus is comparing his experience with dating apps with his experience trying to watch 2020's anime for a video. And the thing I love about it is that it's the kind of idea that only Rufus would have. And I said this as well with his last video, how Freerin cured my brain rot. Rufus has this knack for just comparing anime with whatever happens to be going on in his life. And so in this case, it's dating apps. And I think this idea is really good. God, I have to... I just had an uncontrollable sneezing fit. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the pacing of the video too much. Allergies have been wrecking me. You know, maybe I should make a video called How Anime Cured My Allergies. Or How They Made It Worse. Either one works. Anyway, I'll do a Rufus-inspired video. But yeah. Rufus, he has this knack for comparing concepts from just whatever's happening in his life versus what he's going through, or versus whatever is happening in anime in his life, I guess. Whatever anime he happens to be watching. And on the surface, if you just described that idea to me, I would have been like, well, what's the fucking point? You can compare anything to anything. But the idea is that by comparing the two things, he manages to squeeze something insightful out of the topic beyond just this show is good, or beyond just what it would be if he covered the topic itself in isolation. So, for example, in this video, the entire video, in my eyes, is about artificiality, and about how that's a bad thing. Because Rufus describes the process of trying so hard to love something, and that is either an anime or a girl in this case. He says it extremely eloquently at one point. Let me go to my notes so I can quote it exactly. He's talking to this emo girl who likes the same Vocaloid that he does, that he says, only to learn that she is the most boring person I have ever talked to or encountered in my life. And he says that with the perfect affect, just the perfect inflection in his voice, the perfect tone. It's beautiful. I love it. It's such a good line. It's probably his best delivery in any of these videos. I love it. I burst out laughing when I heard it, which is funny because he showed me the script to this before the actual video. I did not laugh at that line when I read it in the script, but then, now hearing his voice, I'm like, oh god, this is fucking hilarious, actually. And so that's a great line. And yeah, I mean, in general, the video is funny, but continuing on the point I was talking about, it's about forcing yourself to love something. So Rufus has these shows that look good, that seem like they're up his alley, like To Your Eternity and Akebi Sailor Uniform, and he tries to love them, but he's mind cucking himself, right? He's not being true to his emotions. And that's the struggle of the video, of being like, love, happens naturally. It's not something that you force. Like, you can seek it out, but it has to come from the heart. It has to feel natural. And that may be, the greatest loves of all for anime and for romance are things that just crop up naturally without even really meaning for it to. And I think it's a good point in the sense of needing to be true to yourself and, really, like, do some self-reflection. Like, are you forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do while convincing yourself that it's for the best, that it is, working out well, right? I think that is a very good point, and he tackles it in a way that I found very interesting. The video, shut the fuck up, phone notification. The way he tackles it, or I guess the way he paces the video, it feels longer than it actually is, but due to it just being so dense, it feels almost like an old Digibro video in the sense that it's just like Digi's older videos could be like 8 minutes long, but it would have so much point to it in such a small amount of time that it would feel longer than it actually was. You'd get so much out of it for just that small amount of time. And for this, it's the same thing. But on top of that, like I said, it's just really funny, right? Like, Rufus's editing is always great. I love the visual gags. The gif of Kafka, it's captioned with "out," and it's just Kafka like flying into space. Like, I remember that from the OP. It's just a reversed, it's just reversed footage from the OP of the third season. I'm pretty sure. I love it. It's great. And then, but obviously that's just visuals, and there are some goofy ones that he makes himself. Some of them he takes from other people. Just random memes. But probably the funniest part of the video that I love is when so he says, it's just like what Wodakoi taught me. I mean, I haven't seen it, so just as Wodakoi's, or just as I learned from Wodakoi's title, love is hard for otaku. Something to that effect. And that sent me. It has the perfect pacing. It made me laugh in, like, while I was just reading the script too, because once again I got early access to this. So, oh yeah, another great bit. I just saw this in my notes. Maybe I'm just bitter. I'll never feel the same magic I found. The same magic oh god, I misquoted it. I skipped a word. I found in my first love. I assume I'm missing the word in. So maybe I'm just bitter. I'll never feel the same magic I found in my first love, which was Kill la Kill. I am cosmically unsuccessful in dating. Just once again, perfect delivery and pacing. He's just funny. Like, Rufus is legitimately one of the funniest people I know. Like, he's great. Way funnier than anything I've had in my videos. This is turning out to be a long rant. Holy shit. But, however, we must get to the criticism, right? Rufus doesn't want me sucking his dick the entire time. So, first of all, and I commented on this, like, because I saw, even more early access. I saw, like, the first minute and a half of this video before it came out. And his mic quality in, like, the first 20 seconds or so is really bad, and then it suddenly becomes really good. And it's like, I don't even know how it happened. Like, how? I guess he just used a shitty microphone for it, or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I mentioned it to him then, but then I think he asked me, Like, hey, do you think it's a big deal? Like, like, should I go through the effort to fix this? And I was like, it probably won't affect your view count. And so I assume that is one small part of why it stayed in. But yeah, I don't know. I found it jarring, and in general, I love Rufus's editing style because it feels, very messy, very shitposty, but very authentic and soulful. But there's also this issue of him just having I don't know how he gets the footage for his videos, all the anime footage, but it's very low res. Bro does not know how to torrent. And so literally just learn how to torrent your anime footage, because a lot of it is really low quality, just fetched from a really bad source, however it's fetched. And then there's this other issue, and this one is really subtle. Oh god, my voice just died suddenly. This one is really subtle. And I've had this issue on a few videos, and I had to fix them. But you'll notice in some of the clips that they're sort of jittering, that it's like skipping frames, or it pauses on a frame for too long. And it'll do that like a few times a second or once per second, but always at like a consistent rate. And to my knowledge, the reason why that happens is because the source footage is like the source footage is a lower frame rate than 60 FPS, which is presumably what he's rendering it on. It might be 30, it might be something else, but it like skips that frame or pauses on it too long. I had that issue with my Dungeon Meshi video and had to fix it. For my Dungeon Meshi video in particular, actually, this might be what's happening, because the Dungeon Meshi video was, the source footage was like 23.9997, something like that, frames per second. It's like it's so close to 24, like just slightly off, and for whatever reason, Vegas just did not like the decimal. And so I had to redo everything in 60 FPS, and yeah, it delayed the video by a day. And so that might be what's happening. You might want to check the frame rate of your footage. But in general, like I said, it being a different frame rate than the source, or like the source being a different frame rate from the project was the issue. But honestly, like Vegas, at least for me, tends to do fine with that. It's just, I mean, I think it's just if it's a decimal, but I, could also be wrong. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. And obviously, I think he uses Final Cut Pro, and so that might be different. Stuff like that, just, I don't know, look into it. Because this is a pretty consistent issue with Rufus's videos that I've pointed out before. But that still is kind of an issue, yeah. Even though the video overall looks good just because I like the editing. But even still, I think it's worth looking into. I like my pristine, high-quality footage. Another thing, this is another thing I told Rufus while I was watching the initial minute and a half of the video. But like the JK I don't give a fuck slide, I think he should have said it out loud, like, just kidding, I don't give a fuck, or something like that. I think that would have just been funnier than what it was. It still has good comedic timing, but even still. Aside from that, it's mostly just presentation issues. And even then, like, even in terms of presentation, it's mostly issues with just, like, the specs, the technical stuff, right? Also, at 2 minutes and 4 seconds, he shows a screenshot of Mal from his computer. It's like a screen recording. I see those tabs. I see all those tabs. I see your Machikado Mazoku Momo something. I see your dog side-eye Google search. Konata Lucky Star GIF. Giga Stacy's. Top anime, myanimelist.net. Shocking! I had an erection! Fury USYK fight time, Google. Pico de Gallo recipe. Pieces Burr tier list. 01 15 2023? Yeah, 2023. Canelo responds to Terrace. No, Terrence. Yeah, those are all his tabs. And then, oh, it gets even better. His bookmarks. You've got Gmail, you've got Google Maps, YouTube, Fine Cropper, YT to MP3, Borderize, Remove Background, Tenor GIF Keyboard, MyAnimeList.net, MitroKidG ... and then it continues. Look, I just gotta... Listen, if you present me with something to snoop around, I will. No, I can even see that he has 99 notifications from... What is that? Is that like MSN? I'm not sure. But, like, his email, essentially. One notification from some kind of software with a T on it. I don't actually recognize that. 9+ notifications on Discord, which is a tab he has open. There's also, Final Cut Pro open as well. Oh shit, wait, we can even see the temperature where he lives. 96 degrees, sunny. 96 whole ass degrees. It is what, in fact, I couldn't even say it was 1:05 p.m. on May 18th, 2024 when he recorded this footage. I don't know what the point of going through all that was, but it was very enjoyable. And then when did the actual video come out? Because that was May 18th. So it came out 3 days later. So there you go. Now you know. So that's all I have to say about the actual video. But there is one last thing I wanted to do before I leave ya off for the day. And it's a comment on his video that I don't even want to comment on. I just want to read out and let you judge for yourself whether it's a good comment. So this one comes from Noido Dev, who says, if you really want to have some shot at young romance, you literally have to look for somebody younger than yourself, and before they make it to the dating apps. After that border, you have to be good looking, tall, and jacked. Your chances for romance, even in the best case, go down. You need to be open to do pump and dump, which... Okay, I assume that's like just sex and dump. But that's not. Is that really the term for it? I thought that was just a term for crypto scams. Anyway, or make it your main task to meet a lot if women and vet somebody offline for a long-term relationship. In parentheses, don't get married. If you just want to have nice conversations online, you would be better off with AI girlfriend or dating simulations. Using that for compartmentalization is IMO a good idea. Now listen, I'm not going to say this was a bad comment, but what I am going to say is that it's one of the few comments that Rufus didn't leave a heart on. I'm just going to leave you with that. That's about it. See ya. Oh yeah, I literally forgot to mention that I made the thumbnail for this video. I am now Rufus's thumbnail artist. I'm goated. Tell me whether or not it's good. You should watch the video and praise my thumbnail work. Alright, that's actually the ending of this rant. See ya.